Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. It is always a great day when across from me is the ebullient, the brilliant, the fun, the cool Cheryl Morrow. How you doing, Cheryl?
I am all that you said. Thank
more.
you very much, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Cheryl is the founder and publisher of San Diego Monitor News and the president of California Curl, joined by my colleague and business partner, Charles Parisi, the CEO and founder of Cloudcast Media. Thanks for joining us.
Well, I'm so excited to be on the air.
And a special guest with us, we got Pynk Stylez. She is the founder and CEO of Hair Asylum. How you doing there, Pynk?
I'm beautiful.
Beautiful. You are beautiful in many, many different ways on this. We're going to start with you on this one, Cheryl. Talk about the Jacobs Center Business Accelerator cohort by U.S. Bank. What's that all about?
Well, I personally just ran into it just being a community stakeholder.
Right.
And just being interested in the whole process. And I had some connection to it in the past, right? And so I was interested because I almost missed Pynk Stylez, actually. I actually almost missed this year's, class of 2023. And so at that point, got involved, but I didn't get involved at the mentor level, but it has been consistent. And so that just drove my interest.
And what is it exactly? Is it a bunch of people that want to become entrepreneurs and then share their ideas? How does that work?
They come, and I'm sure Pynk will be able to, elaborate, but
sure.
I just knew that it existed only because of just years and hearing about it in the community. So I'm not an actual pro on what the pros and cons and how it, the process, but just watching it and seeing entrepreneurs enter it. Some evolved into businesses and some didn't. And so I was curious about it. That's just how I entered into the process.
So how'd you find out about this, Pynk?
Me and my best friend made an oath to go to every business convention we could in the beginning of the year and sign up for everything because we wanted to basically excel in the business that we both started. And we signed up at this one convention downtown, and we signed up for the cohort at the Jacobs Center.
Fantastic.
We entered it, and we gave it our all.
Wow.
And we won.
What did you learn most about it?
Just intermediate basics of running a business, how to set up your business, the legality of it, how to transform your business from where you are to where you want to be, and the actual idea of keeping a steady system.
Yeah. Hey, Pynk, I want to back up to something you mentioned. You said you took an oath. Okay. And that's a really important part of entrepreneurship is having a swim buddy in life, someone to get through the good times, the bad times, the start times. Take us back to the conversation. Where were you when you were having this conversation with your partner and taking this oath? I want to hear that.
Okay, so I was doing her hair at my salon, and I told her, I'm outgrowing the space that I'm in. And she also expressed how she was outgrowing the space that she was in. And I said, let's go bigger. We got to go bigger. So, and she's like, what we got to do to go bigger? We just got to go where we've never been.
Yes, right.
Outgrowing the space. That's not just physical space. It's kind of metaphorical.
Yeah.
You were probably outgrowing.
I was outgrowing everything that I was accomplishing. I just wanted more. Every time I hit a goal, I felt like I could have did better, even though I hit it.
So how much during the Accelerator program did you learn about marketing? Did you learn about communication? Did you learn about goal setting, messaging, and so forth? All those tools.
I think we pretty much knew the basics. I think they taught us how to apply them. It was the application of us already knowing what we had, the information we already had. We just needed the application to do.
Right. Cheryl, you were a mentor in this program, right?
Yes.
Right, exactly.
Yes, right.
And of course, with your expertise that it goes from A to Z and everything in between, especially when it comes to that iconic dad of yours and all that business.
Yes.
And of course, with the communication, to say the least, how much advice did you give, especially on the communication side, and how important it is to communicate and articulate where you want to go?
Well, initially, when I volunteered,
You weren't voluntold by Charles?
no.
I had nothing to do with it.
Actually, I recruited him, right?
Yeah, right.
She did.
Of course.
And so I just offered my, presence and I just my time. And then they emailed me.
Right.
And then they matched me up with Pynk Stylez here. And my initial job was to get to know her. And once I did, you can figure out the gifts and talents of a person. And you don't really, you coach them. It's almost like, let me give you an example. It's like Phil Jackson didn't teach anybody how to play basketball. It's more of a teaching them how to win. It's different.
Especially with all the superstars he had on his team, which is even
harder job.
It's even harder to do. We're chatting with Cheryl Morrow. She is the founder and publisher of San Diego Monitor News, and the president of California Curl, and a mentor on the Jacobs Center's Business Accelerator cohort by U.S. Bank, joined by a winner in this. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
In this program. Pynk Stylez, the founder and CEO of Asylum, joined by my business colleague and the CEO and founder of Cloudcast Media, Charles Parisi. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast. We are now in our 17th year doing this. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union and these wonderful studios in Scripps Ranch. And Mission Fed continues to do great things in San Diego for more than 60 years. Charles, this is in your DNA. You've been an entrepreneur at age 25, so that's been 60 years you've been doing this. No, Charles isn't 85, he's 95. No, but in all seriousness, this is near and dear to your heart.
No, it is. And this is why Cheryl and I, by the way, we spend an awful lot of time together. And we talk about all kinds of things just like this,
Absolutely.
and because the funny thing is, entrepreneurship is in fact the DNA of America.
Yeah.
It really is. 70% of all jobs are small businesses, less than 10 employees, 20 employees. And so we as a country, we as a state, we as a community, bottom up need to build as many businesses as possible. And it takes what I call activation energy. The best idea or the best car doesn't go anywhere out of the garage unless it has some fuel in the tank. And I think that's what accelerators and mentors like Cheryl do, which is provide that activation energy, whether it's confidence, a little know-how. Have you thought about this? Those little suggestions, those little nuggets that come from mentorship and acceleration. So it is my heart and soul, but to me, it's the heart and soul of America is about entrepreneurship. And that's why it's so great to see Pynk, and how wonderful you're doing with your business. I know you're super successful. I've heard lots of things about how well your salon's doing, and you've outgrown your space. So it's great to see Pynk, one, taking an oath and then following through on it.
Yeah,
because we always talk about knowledge supplied doesn't mean anything unless it's knowledge applied. You followed through. That is so critical to success in anything in life.
Well, what's also going to be cool about this, and this is going to happen probably sooner than later, if it hasn't already, Pynk's going to be a mentor. And so she's going to pass it on.
Yes.
And then whoever you pass it on to is going to pass it on to her. And then Cheryl's got a whole long list of stories about who has helped mentor her and now what she is doing now in this aspect of it. Charles, you mentor a lot of people. I'd like to think I have as well on this and get more of a kick out of mentoring the folks and see what they do when they move forward in that aspect of it. So, Pynk, what would you say that, when you have done this, you've won this and so forth, and you're ready to expand? One of the things we've been talking a lot about on my the show on Spotlight is listening. There's a huge difference between listening and hearing. Okay, how good of a listener are you? If you're successful, you got to be a good one.
Yeah, and I'm a hairstylist, so I listen attentively. Listen to everything.
Right. But there's a lot of people that don't they just hear stuff, but they don't listen. And those successful folks actually, and as Charles was talking about. Talk about how important it is to really listen to somebody and they have ideas about your business, or great ideas can come from everywhere, correct?
Right. Great ideas can come from me driving down the street and looking at something.
Right.
Applying it to what I have going on already.
Right. Exactly. Cheryl, talk about how important listening is, especially you're in the field of communication.
Well, one of the things that I hope, speaking to Pynk, was I a good listener?
Yeah, she's a great listener. She's a wonderful listener.
Oh, okay. Well, one of the things that I did not want, I wanted her to, you're just guiding, and you're just fixing glitches. You're not fixing the person. You're looking at the impediments that they have put in place to keep them from their goal, and having them look at it a different way. So we didn't even want to change anything, and I think that I think most people know what they should do. And one of my mentors, Juliet Hinton, used to always tell me, never confuse intellect with conditioning. People will know intellectually what they have to do, but they're conditioned sometimes to do it out of their best interest or against their best interest. And that's what coaches do. They just show them, if you keep doing this, you're going to get that.
It's so funny you brought that up. Charles, you didn't get a chance to hear the interview with Devin Vadishka, literally one of the nation's top educators. He was in earlier, and he almost said word for word what you said about one of the challenges in education. And we're conditioned to do X instead of knowing to do Y. And he has a program called Learner-Centered Collaborative now in 150 districts around the country. The focus is, heaven forbid, that we want to focus on what the student's interested in. What a shock, right? We've known that since people were walking upright, for God's sake, And you just hit the nail on the head. We come back from break. We're going to chat more with Cheryl Morrow. She is the founder and publisher of San Diego Monitor News and the president of California Curl, joined by Pynk Stylez, founder and CEO of Hair Asylum, and a winner of the Jacobs Center Business Accelerator cohort. And then my colleague, of course, Charles Parisi, longtime entrepreneur and the founder and CEO of Cloudcast Media. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of the Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest running community podcast, now in our 17th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Mission Fed continuing doing great things for San Diego for more than 60 years. We are joined by the iconic Cheryl Morrow. She is the founder and publisher of San Diego Monitor News and the president of California Curl, joined by my colleague, the CEO and founder of Cloudcast Media, Charles Parisi. Honored to have the winner of the Jacob Center Business Accelerator cohort. She is also the founder and CEO of Asylum, and that is Pynk Stylez. Pynk, let me ask you this. All entrepreneurs know this. Cheryl knows it. Charles knows it. I know it all too well. Sometimes you have to fail to succeed, correct? And you can't be afraid of failing. Talk about how important that is.
I think if I don't fail, I'm not going to succeed.
You got, exactly. Charles, you talk about this stuff all the time.
Yeah, and I think, Pynk, to the extent that we have listeners out there who may be getting encouraged by what you've done, tell us about a couple of the stumbles. Because I know you went from idea at some point with Hair Asylum. Mm-hmm. Tell us about some of the early stumbles and how you powered through them.
Not being able to establish myself well enough was a very hard obstacle for me because I wanted to stay in this box and not knowing outside the box. People wanted the same things. They probably had the same emotions that I was already feeling. When I stepped outside the box, I realized I had a lot more outside of the box than I did inside. The failure of me having to do one thing over and over again strengthened that area and strengthened a lot more areas that kept me going and fueled my every day of getting up and let's do something different.
Wow, that's incredible. That's great. I mean, getting out of the box. I mean, you touch on so many things that are so important. And maintaining the confidence to continue to move along. Were there ever any days when you said, I got to toss in the towel, it's not working?
No.
Good for you.
Yeah, good for you is right, because that, usually you get to the point, I said, okay, I'm going to go into butterfly catching after a while. Okay, that's something I probably should be doing instead of podcasting for that matter.
Monarch butterflies, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe in that aspect of it. So I think that's great. But, I think equally important to that, Pynk, and we can talk about this and get Cheryl's 2 cents on this as well, is you talked about never thinking about throwing in the towel. Doesn't part of that come from having mentors like Cheryl who are always with you shoulder to shoulder?
Yeah, she made me look at it from a different perspective. My perspective is my perspective, but if I get a different perspective, I can be able to choose which one suits me and my future best.
Yeah, so, one of the great qualities of Cheryl, and there are a lot of them, is I love just how you're so honest, and, in your communications and all that business of it, and you'll give some honest feedback. And talk about how important that is for being a mentor.
There actually, for some reason, the brain will trust a brutal truth more than probably, how mothers like to soothe you because they don't want you to feel bad. But there's something about the brain that wants to recover from something and hearing something that is so much more applicable. Because if I see something that's going to prevent you from doing something that's really going to be, painful in the end, because the older you get, the less recovery time
Exactly.
is even in, your brain capacity. But she can accept the brutal truth. And we're not talking about disrespect or anything like that, but just me telling her in such a way, stop doing dumb things. Because, at the end of the day, she doesn't want to do dumb things.
Right. Well, exactly. I'm going to give you an example. I've been telling this story for a long time. So I went and I got a journalism degree and I became a sports writer and so forth. So I can certainly appreciate the field that you're in. But I remember my class at San Diego State and had a professor named Dr. Joseph Spivak. And this guy was tough as nails. So the first assignment I got from back for him was F- have you ever written before? And of course I'm going, are you kidding me? I'm just breathing fire. I couldn't wait to knock down the door to his office. What are you talking about? I've been writing sports for a while and this one. And he goes, well, you got an F- on this. And if you continue to write like this, you'll never be a sports writer. He turned out to be my favorite professor because he was telling the truth. Okay. Because what I had written was F- on this. And I did become a sports writer for that aspect of it. So there was my shock in the face and all that. How about you, Charles? You ever get one of these F- from somebody?
Oh, many times. Many times. It's essential. I think any entrepreneur that said it was a rocket ship went straight up. I don't believe the story. It's always different because every business is different. Every type of business, every personality is different. And as Cheryl's mentioning, some people actually, even the brain may want it. Some human beings still can't handle it.
Right.
So everyone goes through trials and tribulations. It's essential to growth.
Right.
And then it's character.
Right.
Who can, like you said, that divide when the moment they want to say, oh, that she's just, she's full of crap. But it's that moment that they can have a moment of silence. It's the silence when they go, as my father would say, if you keep, being called an ass, just check if you got a tail. Just check. Just look back.
I'm gonna steal that one, and I'm gonna cite Willie and you. Okay, on that one over here. I never take credit for things that I don't do. We're chatting with Cheryl Morrow. She is a founder and publisher of San Diego Monitor News, president of California Curl, and a mentor on the Jacobs Center Business Accelerator cohort. Joined by a winner on this program, and that is Pynk Stylez, the founder and CEO of Asylum, and joined by my business partner, the CEO and founder of Cloudcast Media, Charles Parisi, and I'm Drew Schlosberg. I've been doing this thing for 17 years now, Charles.
That's a long time. Hey, Pynk, I have a question for you about the award from the Business Accelerator. Tell us about what was happening that night. I had the pleasure of being there, but tell our audience what happened that night and what was your award for?
Okay, so the award was for the pitch competition. We all put in the pitch for our business, allowed you to know what we learned throughout the 4 months of being in the cohort, as well as what our business is and what we're wanting in case we won the award. So I already had like a feeling like, it's whatever, I'm not going to win, but I gave it to him,
There you go.
I served you, but when they said my name, I lost it. Like, me?
Did you dance at all? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, the little two-step.
Little catwalk.
Yeah.
And what was the award?
The award was actually they kind of split us. They couldn't decipher if they wanted me to be on top or be on top. I didn't. So, but the award was for it was a grant towards the business to help the business out and to secure, I guess, whatever it is we need for our business.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic.
No, that is fantastic. So let me ask this, Pynk. So what advice do you have for budding entrepreneurs that I'm not so sure I should dip my foot into? Like it could be, hairstyling, it could be podcasting, it could be whatever the case may be. What advice do you have for people?
Be relentless. If you want to get it, be relentless.
There you go.
Not really what they say is out there. Is what you go discover.
How about you, Cheryl? What would you say? We got 3 hours.
Oh, wow. Probably go smooge, rub shoulders, put your arm out, put your sleeve out there, and go humble yourself and talk to someone who has had some saloon fights, some black eyes, and whatever. Just whoever's doing what you want to end, the end in mind. Go find that person and just say, can I just be breathe the same air as you for a few minutes and figure out that I want to put my time and energy into this, because that's what it's going to take.
Right, without question.
Well, Pynk said something really, I love, by the way, Pynk, we were out in the lobby before we started, and you were a little nervous.
Yeah.
And I have no idea why you were ever nervous. You are a natural. I can see why you won the pitch. You're an excellent communicator. But you mentioned something relentless, which I think is so important. And Drew, kind of goes back to the struggles. And here's what I would say, and I think, Pynk, I'd love to have your thoughts. If you're starting a company and if you're not seeking out some pain, you're making life too easy on your business, and it's not going to go where it can go. You've got to seek something uncomfortable to keep pushing, and then you push through it relentlessly. So, are you pushing yourself?
Yeah.
Are you stretching? Are you looking for some pain?
I'm in pain every day.
Especially with me pointing out the little nicks and crannies, right?
I'm in pain every day because I know the pain is growth.
Oh my gosh, this is like,
I'm telling you, she's easy. She's an easy teach.
Pain is growth. There it is. That's pretty much it. Right.
And the other good thing is that she's hard-headed. And then if your mentor is worth their weight, they're going to say, okay, it's time. Let's get in the ring. Let's spar, because I'm going to kick your ass. You know what I mean? It's it's that rope-a-dope. It's that Muhammad Ali. I'm going to talk to you in your ear until you. I'm going to win. You're going down. You're going down.
Little George Foreman, reference there.
Right, but she gets it.
Yeah, there's no question about it. So got a few more minutes here. I'm just going to go around the room on this, and we'll start with you, Charles, then go to Cheryl, and then end up with Pynk. What advice do you have for our audience who wants to be budding entrepreneurs? My advice for the audience is locate Pynk and follow up with her and get great advice from Pynk, because she's got the recipe.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna just ask you a question. I'll use my time for a question. Let's talk. Making your customers insanely happy. It's called hair Asylum, so I'm sure there's some craziness going on. But how much do you focus on making your customers insanely happy?
100%. I focus everything on the customer, because they'll tell you how they want it, and just their body language, and they might not say it, they can't verbalize it, but it's okay because we're going to get to it. Just show me what you do, and then we'll go ahead and come up with a way we can make that better.
Interesting. See, she even picks up on nonverbal communication, which is 70% of human communication is nonverbal. Yeah. So you pick that up. That's great.
Yeah, what a star that Jacob Center cohort had. And let me just say this. I think that it is time in the community to have a 21st century kind of cohort. And just Charles and I have been talking about something that is surrounded around the 360 consummate career of Mr. Morrow. Because even though you start at, in one industry and you want to do so much more,
right,
you have to have one epicenter that can pour in the other funds to your other interests and passions and things that you want to do. And of course, Mr. Morrow did it seamless, but teaching that and being nice to yourself. You don't have to know what you don't know, and you don't know what you don't know, so you don't have to be so hard on yourself. But at the end of the day, we talked about all entrepreneurs don't have the same thinking capacity. If you don't have the capacity of managing and doing the administrative work, don't force yourself to do it.
That's really
hire someone to do it.
Really important advice, Drew. And going back to Pynk in the conversation, and it's really important because not everyone is wired to be an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
And I think it's one of the self-awareness things for someone that says they want to be an entrepreneur. You really would need to make sure you've got that wiring. I used to tease people all the time that,
Absolutely.
that I believe that families that are entrepreneurial families need a whole different type of family counseling. Because it's craziness.
True.
It just is.
That is even part of. I don't know if you guys have even seen even Bar Rescuer like John Tapper.
Of
It's
course.
very hard to.
Yes.
It's very easy to fix businesses, but very hard to fix people.
Right.
Because the dynamics are there. So the advice is just figure out if you are a CEO type, you're most likely probably not an entrepreneur. You go in and fix. I'm an intrapreneur. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. So that's the key for me.
Very good. So, Pynk, you've heard all of this over here. I love your comments. Pain is growth. You've got so many wonderful, things on this. I'm going to steal the ass and the donkey one from you, Cheryl, and give Willie, Mr. Morrow, all the credit on this over here. Again, what do you say to our folks out there that want to start in business like you do?
Find a mentor. Find who you are. And it's not who you are as a person, but who you are in a business. Because you may not want to pursue that on that level right now, but you need to know how to pursue it. So find someone that's in that same line.
Well, listen, an absolute honor. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
this award. We know we're going to be doing this. I say this a lot on this show. I'm going to say I knew Pynk win. Okay, that's what I'm going to say. I knew Pynk win on this. Pynk Stylez, thank you so much for joining us. Cheryl, it's always a delight to see you in the studio. You're not in enough, so we're going to have to correct that.
Oh, absolutely. And especially, we're combing pink for October.
That's exactly right. Very good. I was on the board for 6 years on that, so I'll be at that event. And Charles, as always, appreciate your insights and bringing such great guests on.
Thank you so much.
I'm Drew Schlosberg. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast. We're now in our 17th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. And Mission Fed's been doing great things for San Diegans for more than 60 years. We hope you enjoyed the show.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.